2024 is well on its way, and there's a lot of chatter, a lot of talk about some kind of event coming, specifically a Black Swan event. And it's something as preppers, it should be our main concern right now. But of course, trying to figure out what that event is the hard part. Let's delve into this and see exactly what's going on. It started off with Catherine Herridge made a dark prediction for 2024. This is back in December, mind you, believing a Black Swan event is looming. She's a reporter for CBS. She used to be with Fox News. And what's interesting is she's made other predictions in the past that have come true. So it's something we certainly should listen to. And very quickly, a Black Swan event, something that has very severe repercussions, is an unpredictable event that is well beyond what's normally expected in a situation and has severe consequences. Black Swan events in the past may include commercial oil drilling starts a new industrial revolution, Hitler takes over, OPEC shocks the world with oil shortages in the 70s. I wouldn't say birth of the internet. A lot of people don't know exactly when that happened. However, 9/11, that's a huge one. And the subprime crisis as well. But what's the next one? That's the whole point of that cloud underneath. We have to figure this out. Well, do we really have to figure it out? We should try to understand what's happening, because understand actionable intelligence to be able to prepare for this is important. But as preppers, we just need to prepare anyway, because we may never know until that event indeed nails us. And from the Blaze, they talked about this as well, talking about her Face the Nation interview, and they try to give us some insight what that might be, because Herridge herself referenced 3 different things. Number 1, China, which continues its ties with Russia, seeks to displace the United States on the world stage by 2049. They have been increasingly antagonistic toward the United States in recent years. They've subjected Americans to intimidation and coercion campaigns on our U.S. soil, mind you. Threats by their Army fighter jets, bombastic threats over political views to Taiwan, espionage, political destabilization efforts by communist agents, and not to mention a ridiculous amount of influx of fentanyl from Mexico, all linked back to China. Not to mention North Korea's communist regime threatened to preemptively launch a nuclear strike on rivals. But honestly, they say that kind of stuff all the time. Iran threatened last week to seal off the Mediterranean Sea if the U.S. and Israel continue to commit so-called crimes in Gaza. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. It seems to be every day. And of course, that's why we have Goshen News and Geopolitics, our other channel, so we can talk about these things and address this every single day. But there's far more things that could be this Black Swan event. From Politico, they talk about this as well. And people talk about this one specifically, a possible disruption in the U.S. election. Wow, that would be huge. A China surprise, an attack on Taiwan from China, but going well beyond that, sparking off World War III. A professor from Marquette University said maybe a death at a Trump rally. The implications of this would be huge and would cause major problems here in the U.S. Mother Nature wreaks havoc on the election. A digital apocalypse, which absolutely might happen. Global warming-induced havoc. And honestly, this is more of a gray swan event. A gray swan event is where you have a huge event that could take place that most people actually don't believe it's happening. A coup against Putin, that's very real. A violent attack on a candidate during election year. Global conflict scrambles the campaign. I could see that happening. And then some more from Agribusiness Global. They talk about this as well. Agro-industry stagflation, China unraveling, a major energy crisis for sure. Political deglobalization has led to trade wars and physical war. Interest rate inflation, well, we've already seen that one. Labor migration. And finally, the last one they talk about again, which isn't Black Swan, is Gray Swan, climate volatility. So I'll say it again, the whole purpose of a Black Swan event is us not really seeing it coming. You kind of know it's going to come, but when afterwards you'll look back and say, oh yeah, that was very clear. So 2 things about this. Number 1, as preppers, that is our number 1 thing we need to prep and prepare, and so many videos on this channel and so many other sources to be ready for this: food, water, supplies. The list is literally endless of the different things that you should prepare for and stockpile and drill and train and get ready for whatever this event is going to be. Because, I mean, even if it's just the power grid going down, you know, one of those things where, like, yeah, I could see that happening right now. And then afterwards, you're like, yeah, obviously our power grid was very fragile and it went down. Yeah, it caused 90% of the people in the United States to die, is what the estimates are. So many things like this could happen with this Black Swan event. But secondly, we may never know. And that's not knowing is actually not important here. But I do want you to put in the comments below some different possibilities, because on Goshen Prepping, we're all a community. We work with each other and talk with each other and try to figure things out. We went through a whole list that we just talked about on the channel, but even more so, there are other things that we need to consider, because again, it's something that could be happening right now, hindsight's 2020, but a lot of us have 2020 vision about this before it even happens. Let's get a conversation going in comments below, and let's try to exhaustively figure out what this black swan event may be. And as always, thank you for watching.